Hi there, welcome back to Logic Language Learning. Okay, so today again we're going to be looking at more examples of soft and hard verbs and more exceptions, although when I say exceptions there are very clear rules, and as with the Logic Language Learning method there are very clear patterns for helping us. So today's exception is going to be exceptions which use IR verbs. Okay, now I despise and loathe this version. I call them snake verbs, okay, because I want you to be thinking of the sound. So verbs, okay. So, quick recap. A soft and a hard verb is a verb which does what? Is a verb which doesn't rhyme with a. So we could have sortir, vendre, rendre, prendre, partir, okay, these kind of things, pouvoir. And we've previously looked about how there are some exceptions. We looked about how verbs which are prendre don't use the obvious hard sound. They don't go prendre, prendre, they use ne. So another category that we like to think of as a soft and a hard verb, but which has this exception, is what other people call IR verbs. Now this is a silly thing to say because there are many verbs which are IR verbs which work in the classic sense. You yourself have already used them. So sortir, to go out, S-O-R-T-I-R, classic. Sort, 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 sortant, sorte. Okay, partir does the same, servir does the same. So we are going to call them verbs, snake verbs. So if we took the verb finir. Okay, finir, have a look at it. The classic verb of this model. Okay, so have a good look at it, finir. Can I remind you, as with all verbs, if we don't hit A in the long form, we're going to hear an R. Finir. Okay, this will be very important for when you learn the future tense. Finir. So, let's get rid of him. If we placed finir, F-I-N-I-R, and I asked you to travel through the verb and find me the first hard sound, then probably you'd stop at the N, fin. But it's straight away. It's really sudden, it's really soon. So with verbs like this, we tend to jump onto the next hard sound. Now, you can learn that method, or you can pretty much learn which verbs do this method and which verbs do the classic method. But this jumping technique is quite useful. Okay, so for example, obéir, to obey, is going to use this method, because if I use the normal stop at the first hard method, ob, I'd have nothing left, okay? So this method is still going to be soft and hard. Now, when I teach soft and hard verbs, I always say one thing, with a couple of exceptions, like verbs like to run, courir, we don't use the R as the hard sound. We don't allow that, okay? We change the words. So, as you will see with other verbs I'm about to give you, we give another letter, okay? So if that's not included in this video, can you please have a look at the next video when I talk about to read and to say, etc. So, finir. If we have finir, we travel through and we ignore the first hard, fin. And we're then left with what? Finir. That's the next time our mouth does any closing. But we don't use R as a hard sound, apart from that one exception I can think of right now, I'm sure there are others. Finir. We are going to swap these for the S sound. So if I told you your new word was finir and you were stopping before the re, okay, what would the classic soft be? It would be fini, fini, fini. You're stopping before your next hard. Fini, fini, fini. Now, we have said that these verbs are going to be S verbs. And how many S's do I need to give me a S? I need 2. Okay? So if I had my soft fini, 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 F-I-N-I, F-I-N-I, F-N-I, and as most of these patterns go, we're having S-S-T or XXT or SS nothing, so they're very, very traditional in that sense. But as far as you're concerned, sound-wise, it's fini, fini, fini. Now, after we get there, the new hard that we're going to introduce for them all is S. That's all we're doing with this method. It's not complicated, we are just introducing S as a hard sound. So how many S's how many S's is an S in French? 2. So nous finissons. Notice after my normal hard, I'm just going to put the normal ending. Finissons. So what is my classical vous ending, guys? You're normally up to this point. So nous mangeons, vous mangez. So vous finissez. That's all we're going to do. So vous finissez. EZ. What is my classic? Here's the clue. Silent. What's my classic ending for the they form in the soft and the hard, or even in the normal verbs? Is ENT, but don't arrive at it at that point. If I told you hard, 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 nous finissons, vous finissez, ils finissent. And I warned you that the one you would forget would be the they, but question, they. Is they single or plural? They is plural. So if it's upstairs, is it going to make soft, less noise, or hard, more noise? It's going to be a hard sound. So in total we have je finis, tu finis, il finit, Luc finit, nous finissons, vous finissez, ils finissent. So another verb you can practice with, which is deadly, okay, is choisir, which is to choose. So can you just say this verb with me? Choisir. Did we hear an S or a Z at the beginning? We heard a Z, which basically means how many S's? It means 1. So choisir, we're now going to jump through, we're not going to stop there, we're going to make that our new hard. So our soft will be choisis, choisis, choisis. What's the hard ending on all these verbs? It's the S. So choisissons, for nous, vous choisissez, and go straight to the hard, ils choisissent. Okay, ils choisissent. Okay, finissons, choisissons. Now that's a nice one to say because you've got your Z and your S. Okay? Can I remind you that finir and choisir in the past, again just a little nod to the past, will be choisi and fini. Same as servir will be servi. So most of these IR verbs, for want of a better term, are going to just be the soft sound in the past. So finir, I have finished, j'ai fini. Choisir, I have chosen, j'ai choisi. So let's just do a little mixture now, okay? If your verb was fournir, fournir, which is to provide, to furnish, and I'm going to tell you categorically all of these verbs are going to be the S verbs. So fournir, we knock off the R. What's my we furnish, we supply? Nous fournissons. So find me the S. What would be I supply? The verb is fournir. Give me the soft, the new soft, where you've jumped forward. Je fournis. Okay? If I had obéir, obéir, remember we're cutting the R off. So what would be he obeys? Il obéit. Okay? Tu obéis, etc. Give me we obey. Nous obéissons. Okay, good? Okay, this is how it's going to work. Fini, 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 finissons, finissez, finissent. Okay, fantastic, well done. Now have a look at the next video on other exceptions to the soft hard that I'm going to be giving you, which are about swapping letters in the middle, lots of good patterns. We don't want to have to read, we don't want to have to visualise. Click like if the video helped you, and I shall speak to you soon.